Hello YouTube, welcome to Sunday in the Shop. How many people remember the nano lathe? Well, there's a part broke, so I'll have a video on fixing that broken part. I have to manufacture a part there, but we're just getting this out, making sure it runs. I'll leave you a couple of pictures if I can find them. I found one of the inside of this controller that's in this box. I can't remember the number on it. It is a popular one, like MC60 or whatever. In the end of the day, it was one of the most popular controllers to get for the treadmill motor. This is a big, like 1-horse motor back there. This is a fan housing I made for it with a computer fan. It had an external fan blade on it. We'll wind it out here once for you. This thing runs at a very high speed. It's running faster than when I first got it going. It's been setting. This thing's been set for a long time. If you can hear me over the power tools, I always do that, talk over it. It's going to be kind of a little mix there. We're going to get out our little grinder thing in the router control, and we're going to show you whether we can grind aluminum, because we're making a part out of aluminum. So that'll be the part I'm making for this, but I'm going to include it in the Sunday in the Shop video, me doing a little bit of work on that, just playing around with that grinder, 1/4 inch grinder with a router speed control. So stay tuned. Okay, this is a fail. I can't get it. I need something that's more precise. I don't know if you can see that circle. It's going to be smaller than that circle. So we're off to the belt disc sander. We're going to get it out. This is just too coarse, and it's just not accurate enough with that rough coarse blade to do what I want. You'll find out what this part is if you watch the video on repairing the nano lathe, but we just want to show some different techniques of how we're going to try to smooth this aluminum. So stay tuned. Off to the next machine. Okay, we are starved for lighting. We vowed to get better lighting in here this year. We have a lamp. See that? LED bulb right above this thing. That's how dark it is, and it's even light outside. Okay, this piece is going to have to be this diameter, about 5/16 diameter when it's done. So we're doing as much as we can beforehand. And it's only going to be not even a 1/2 inch long. But we left it on this stock so we have something to work with, like a handle. You know what I mean? Then we'll cut it off when we get down to working size. We'll run it one time so you can see how, I do not know the grid of this, but it's the only pads I have for this sander. We did take the belt off. See where the belt's gone? We don't need to hear that running around. So I thought I'd throw that in there too. Just take the belt off if you don't need it. It's a lot quieter. This thing will be almost all the way around. There'll be a piece of metal coming off it. So you'll see that in the video when I'm actually finishing this part. A little bit more accurate, huh? It says it's hard to get this way. Remember, this wheel goes up. If you try this, it can throw you, see where it wants to float? You really shouldn't work on that side. This side's pulling it down to the table because it's turning this direction. This just keep it kind of even. I said that's why I kept this all together, so when I do this part of shaping this, I figured that grinder wouldn't work. The 4.5 inch grinder is too rough. I want to take the rough, I just want to rough grind it to get it down here a ways. Now that is hot. I got my pan of water down here. That is hot. And I don't know if this is wet, dry sandpaper, but so you gotta watch your fingers too. See that? You're trying to get in like this. I mean, you probably wouldn't take your finger off. Hitting it here is better than over here sucking it in, but safety first. And yes, I'm wearing goggles. This powder flies. jump off the table. Okay, enough of that. We'll take you over to the bench so you can see what it looks like so far, how good a job that's doing. So I can't tell you what the grit is. Okay, here's another good reason I bought these calipers for metric. That's right at 6mm. There's 5, one more of these go. These are 0.02. If you want to learn how to read a vernier metric caliper, type it in YouTube. You will find a kind of cartoonish stick figure, blue background, white line. He's got a little doggy beside him. It is one of the best ones I found how to read one of these. It's probably the first one that's going to pop up, because believe me, there's a lot of stuff on YouTube that is really not that accurate. This is the screw that goes out of the lathe, the part that makes it go back and forth. It's not in and out, it's when you're lathing down a rod. You'll see in the video, I'll explain it, and how I made that cut. Wow, that showed up good. Excuse my grungy hands. I made a tap out of this. This is a left-handed thread. And I threaded this. I had to have a little bit of a clearance hole to get started. So one of these sides, this side, the threads is not that good. So when I use this piece, I'll probably start in this way. And the piece, if I can find it here, this is the piece that broke. See it in there? That's all, and that's 5/16. It can be bigger than this. This is only like not even a 1/4 inch. So it has to be made like this, but I'm going to get away with making it this part wider. This will be narrower, of course. And it can be 5/16. Here, let's take it off there. See this part that goes in and out. This part goes this way. Yeah. This is where it goes back and forth with the screw in it. Said you can get really confused. And there's a little set screw that holds this in here. I'll explain that in the video. Holds this, and then here's where you can zero it. Anyway, one of these ways, you watch me, I'm turning left. I'll have it the other way. I'll have it where I cut in the middle or thread it. I can't believe I threaded it inch long in aluminum. You should never really tap that long. And I had the vice grips on her, small vice grips, because it doesn't matter how bad I chew this. This is nothing. It can stay there forever. I'm not even going to clean that up. Was this or try to find a machinist that can make that part, left-handed thread, 6mm, and I do not know the pitch, because metric is a total different kind of pitch. You got to buy a pitch gauge for it. So if you're interested in this, there'll be a video coming out soon if it's a success. So if you never see the video, you know I gave up. I'm not giving up though. Back to showing how good the sander worked. Then we'll go on to a different subject. So I'm starved for content. The weather's finally getting nice. It's like 55 degrees out, the sun's shining. It's only like 10 in the morning. That I did, that circle came from the drill chuck coming down where I bottomed out the bit. So, see that circle? And I was going to show that. I'm looking around here for my drill bit, which I cannot find. Let me pause for a second. Okay, I'm even going to include this in one of the parts of it. See, it could be this big. The thing is, when you come down here, see where that is like that? It will go inside there. I might have said in the video I didn't think it would if this was wider. Like this. Yes, it will go in that hole. Because you have to, when you get clear out here, you don't want nothing to hit. So I will adjust that accordingly. If anything, at least it'll be wider this way. So I want more threads than that. This is really cheap stuff. It was cracked. I knew it was cracked. I got the lathe out. Is one reason I did that drill jig. I got the lathe out and it was all gummy and I tried spraying it and I got a little carried away and it just cracked. It shattered. There was 3 other pieces of this. It just shattered it. It's just junk. Anyway, off to a different topic. I didn't know if I showed how smooth that was. So if I did sorry, I'm repeating myself. How good that did. I'd like to find a package of the sanding disc or somewhere on my shelf of what grit these were. Stay tuned for further video. Okay, gotta keep something in focus here. Another good use for this. You sneeze, you're gonna lose these drill bits. You see the numbers? Okay, we pulled out the 1mm bit. We are so close to camera, we're hitting the lens. I'm not kidding you. We'll hit the lens. See that? We bumped the lens of the camera. Boy, it's close to 1mm, enough for me. The carburetor of my tractor is surging, okay? It is a live fan motor with Greyhound before the Predator, so it was the blue one. I'll give you a little history. And I don't know if it's exactly as a Honda carburetor. On the Honda, you can take out the screw that you adjust your idle speed, and then you pull this little plug up and you can pull the low speed jet out, okay? And then you can make it a little bit bigger. Because I've had that engine since 2011. I had it for 8 years. I've never adjusted the valves on it, but I've listened to the valves. I bought these some time back. Show you up close the sizes. And I have measured a 0.5mm. It seems to measure pretty darn close. Like I said, I'm still learning how to read these because they go by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. It even says on here, see where it says 0.02. This is very hard to read. I need to get a magnifier. It's very hard to read the thousandth scale up here. That's 0 to 25 thousandths. And I did explain that in the video when you line this up the best I could. The best I could on camera. I can read it. I've done it before, so I'm used to it. I just never did metric. And I'm glad I watched the video. It goes by 0.02, these lines. Anyway, I cleaned these up. Took some 1000 grit sandpaper. It's a little bit left of this plating because they had smeared up on here. I don't want to take anything rougher, so once in a while I get bored, I'll sand a little more. I took them all apart because there's a burr in here. Back in here on the piece somewhere, I filed out. I put my chain lube stuff, has a Teflon in it, looks like a white clear looking stuff, and you have a copper brass shim under here where these screws go against. One has a hole so it locates it, this one, and then this one presses down on it, and it's wavy shape. So when you tighten it, acts like a wavy spring. So they're very smooth now. Because I want these tight. I don't want them real loose where you bump them and it moves. I don't want to just be doing something and go like that and bump it. So it takes a little bit of thumb pressure to move it. Okay, we beat that to death. Everybody's probably tired of that. Don't buy a set of these unless you want to educate yourself, because you might as well start out with a cheap dial set. I do not like the battery ones. I had the cheap Harbor Freight ones, is probably why. But try to start yourself out with something like this. I see these aren't zeroing. See that? So, we'll think of another subject before we go today. That's going to be another topic. Why did that go off zero and I haven't dropped them? That's a mystery, huh? They're junk. The little gears in these things, they're not that great. And it's the same quality on when you buy the one at Harbor Freight. Let me jack you up and get away from here. Same quality at Harbor Freight. The only difference is the dial. They look almost the exact same, made the same. So I didn't really get anything super quality. So someday we might be showing you taking this apart and getting this set back on zero. I know how to do it, but it's very tedious. I'm glad I got a small screwdriver set, because you got to do a lot of disassembly on this thing. And I'm not just going to turn the dial to get it corrected. So stay tuned. We'll find something else before we go today. Okay, I got mad and took these things apart. And I'll insert a couple pictures here at the end so you can see what it looked like. I'm not going to make a video on how to do these. They're still catching. I cleaned out the rack. See the little teeth? And I cleaned the teeth off. There's two. Took a picture of this mechanism. There's double teeth on there. I even cleaned them. I used a sewing needle. So you know I was digging into grooves. Look at the dirt and grime that came out of there. Because I got these, they were junk. I sprayed them and it was really gritty. Look at the junk that was in there. That yellow grease, that's factory stuff. Because I sprayed something else in there besides anything that would have been yellow. They're even better out here. I think the rack is getting shot in there. Because they're better out here. You want to bind when I go up here. See how it doesn't hit zero exactly every time? What you do is you loosen this up and then you turn your dial back and forth. And you tighten this up. So they can be off a little bit. You hear that? Did you see that? They're junk. I clean these teeth. I clean them and clean them. And I clean the other ones. And I looked at them. I don't have a magnifying glass. But just by looking at them, they're wearing out. They're not as sharp as they used to be. I don't know how many years I've had them. There you go. That's going to end the video. Said, as soon as I'm done, I'll show those pictures first. Of everything laying around here. I mean, I've got tweezers to pick up the needle. I deleted this. I chopped this right off of there. See that? I'm tired of this stupid roller. I don't like it. It's hard to roll. I'd rather just take my thumb and go like this. See, I'd rather just put my thumb in there and pull back and forth. Because I keep these screws just at the right tension. There's a little spring thing in there. I don't know if I took a picture of that. It's just a flat strip of copper brass stuff. And the screws tighten down. It goes down on here and it takes the slop out of everything in here. There's a video, if I could find it, I'd put it in my description. If you really wanted to see a guy tear these apart. And he did it on an expensive set. And that's where I learned how they come apart. So I remember that much in my mind. Be careful what he did to take it apart. You gotta pry this off. You gotta take that needle off. I used the pocket knife blade real carefully. And then you take the dial off. And then you got the mechanism where you take the screws out. And if you look real close, I don't think you can see it. You can just see the heads of the screws in here. But you gotta take the dial and everything off to get all this mechanism off of here. And then this plate right here is hooked to this rod. That plate comes off. Also, this metal plate, this plate right in here, that comes off of it. There you go. Thanks for watching this week. I said if these shuck out again, you know where they're going. They're going off in the junk. Maybe not the garbage, but they'll go off somewhere. Anyway, enough of that. I've got a headache from doing this. I really do have a headache. Make you want to start drinking if you don't drink already. I said all these different bits and everything. What a mess. Good thing I got the tools, huh? Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next week. Okay, just quick add-on. You could set where those two little teeth in this mechanism right on the rack. So it's the teeth that are wore, the little cogs, not the rack. I think I said the rack. I took them back apart again. Now they're not binding. But they are wore. You can look at them. Because this rack is hard stuff. The teeth are softer. And if I remember right, there's a safety thing like a spring where if you get something binding, it'll kind of pink and let it skip over whatever grit. There. I'm not going to keep taking these apart. You know I won't. I'll just go buy another cheap set. Harbor Freight. They're same quality. There you go. Thanks for watching again.